I swear we're getting more and more stuff about Assassin's Creed Shadows by the day. This game is a mess. I you know what? I'm starting to believe every single rumor that's coming out because when you look at the state that Ubisoft is in, they're in trouble. All-time decade low stock, delayed to February, which rumors are now saying that the game might be delayed even further. And now, according to Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming, the polishing that they're supposedly doing with Assassin's Creed Shadows right now includes changing some of Yasuke's story, which has been the most polarizing part of the whole Assassin's Creed Shadows drama. We saw that petition from Japanese gamers that felt like their culture was disrespected and that the game was historically inaccurate. Not to mention that one-legged Tori that is literally the Tori from the Nagasaki atomic bombing on a figurine of Yasuke. Then we heard the rumors that the whole reason why they have Yusuke is because they wanted to pander to the George Floyd and Black Lives Matters movement during 2020, that they originally had a Japanese protagonist. So, I mean, what's there not to believe now? I literally have an X to doubt in anything in regards to Ubisoft now. So now they're trying to change his story, how he's portrayed in the game. They're going to fix architectural details, according to Tom Henderson, and they're going to ensure that the game is historically grounded while fitting into the Assassin's Creed universe. So basically, everything that people were bitching about, they're taking the time to polish it up and fix it. I'm very interested to see how they change Yusuke's story. There was rumor going around that they're going to probably remove him from the game. If the game gets delayed even further, I will believe that. If it's still going to stay in February, no. I don't see them changing Yusuke's role much. Now, they said the game is currently not at the stage it needs to be for release, and that they're being told that there have been some tweaks to gameplay mechanics and elements that are going to take time to incorporate. Now, according to another rumor that we talked about the other day from Indy Mion TV, the game is supposedly super buggy to the point where it's probably more buggy and glitchy than Star Wars Outlaws was, which had its fair share of criticism to where people were giving the game a lot of shit when it launched. So I know they don't want to fall for that fiasco again where they have another big game come out and be a mess. So Ubisoft was not as dedicated to the historical accuracy as multiple developers claimed. So basically, what Henderson's saying is that the historical experts that were brought into Assassin's Creed Shadows much later than usual for a project of this size, and there was like miscommunication between the teams and cutting corners when it came to the approval process of assets in the game. So like architectural structures, flags from Japanese reenactment groups, basically anything that was historically inaccurate was because they're literally flying by the seats of their pants in this game. And it resulted in many of the historical and cultural concerns that we saw from that Japanese petition that have been raised by those Japanese gamers. So now Ubisoft management is taking note after supposedly ignoring calls for a delay. Literally, according to Henderson, developers of Assassin's Creed Shadows were calling for Ubisoft to delay this game long ago, saying that 7 developers working on the project said that they had been pushing for delay for some time, and their situation had even been heard at other studios in the company, which is embarrassing. If you have developers calling, hey, please, we need time to delay this. Please, we need to fix it. This is a mess. This is a fiasco. This is a disaster. And Ubisoft is basically sitting there tone deaf with their rap music that Yusuke uses while he kills Japanese people. I'm finally Ubisoft pulled their head out of their ass because they're being investigated. And there's some changes happening, hopefully, for the better. So if you remember, the other day, there was a Brazilian YouTuber called TVPH who claimed sources informed him the game was a super simple, buggy mess, right? Like an abnormally buggy mess. So all this stuff from Henderson is basically confirming that rumor, which is why I'm saying I'm going to be led to believe that, hey, it's all true. That the game is as bad as we're hearing right here, that there's a internal technology mess. I guess they're using some kind of new internal technology that's just not working right. There's a lot of kinks, a lot of bugs, and I guess the overall gameplay mechanics of Assassin's Creed Shadows are above and beyond what these development teams that are in there. Let's be real, they're all DEI hires that have no business making video games. They have no experience making video games, so they can't make a game that's enjoyable for people. They're more focused on DEI and woke narratives and putting Yasuke in this game than making sure the game runs correctly. But thankfully, Ubisoft jumped in at the last minute and has delayed the game. I would actually appreciate it if the game got delayed even more, to be completely honest. I think this is a blessing in disguise. November was going to be a busy ass month, the holiday season. This game would have bombed terribly if it would have came out and missed like all these huge releases coming out. So maybe February is a blessing in disguise, or maybe waiting till next year at some point might be a blessing in disguise. So yeah, I mean, we just had Star Wars flop. It sold like what, 1 million copies. It was very, very heavily criticized by people for being a buggy mess. So if they could not have withstand Assassin's Creed facing the same fate. If that would have happened, they would have been done. We already have minority investors asking them to sell or go private. So apparently they're working on fixes for this game. And then on top of that, let's go back to the changes for Yasuke. Speaking of Endymion, he said one of the things that was for sure being removed, according to his sources, is the rap music for Yasuke. So I mentioned that earlier. When he did combat, he literally had a hip-hop rap soundtrack, which that music didn't exist in ancient Japan. So thank God that's being removed, because I think that was the most ridiculous thing that anybody from Ubisoft approved. All right. According to his sources, there was a questionnaire, and it was unanimous that they need to remove it, and that it was only implemented because he's black. Again, these people, according to the rumors, only put Yasuke in because Black Lives Matter and George Floyd and all this in 2020. They literally wanted to pander to a modern audience that does not support these games. Now, continuing on, they're supposedly also going to be removing dialogue that would enrage gamers. There was a lot of lines in dialogue in here that sources are saying, I guess, socio-political pandering bullshit about being sold by white men and hating white men and white supremacy should be abolished and stuff. Honestly, if that's true and that was in the game originally, Ubisoft is a lot woker than I suspected, and I'm glad somebody's thinking, hey, let's remove this stuff. Again, their reputation is already going down the drain, and if that got out, you think that all of us right-wing grifters are milking Assassin's Creed Shadows for content. If that would have gotten out, if that would have been in the game, that would have been gold. I would have been running with that for so much time. So Ubisoft is apparently making a lot of changes here, and I don't know if it's too little too late. I think there's still time to salvage it, especially if they delay this game a lot longer. So let me know your thoughts, guys, down below. Subscribe if you're brand new. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.